Once upon a time, deep in a green and magical jungle, there lived a small, fluffy white rabbit named Rumi. Rumi wasn't like any ordinary rabbit. He had sparkling eyes full of kindness, a heart bigger than his tiny body, and a love for helping anyone in need. The other animals called him the jungle's little guardian because whenever there was trouble, Rumi was always the first to lend a helping paw. One bright morning, as the sun peeked through the tall trees and painted the forest golden, Rumi hopped cheerfully through the jungle. He loved listening to the birds sing, watching butterflies dance, and smelling the sweet flowers that bloomed along his path. But that morning, something unusual caught his sharp ears, a faint sound of crying. Rumi stopped, twitched his ears, and listened carefully. The sound was coming from behind a cluster of bushes. Curious and concerned, he hopped quickly toward the noise. And there, to his surprise, he found 3 lost children. They were small, frightened, and holding each other tightly. "Oh no," Rumi whispered softly. "They must have wandered too far from their village." The children looked up and gasped when they saw the rabbit. But instead of running away, Rumi smiled gently and said, "Don't be afraid. My name is Rumi, and I'll help you get back home safely." The children wiped their tears and nodded. They trusted the rabbit's warm and gentle eyes. And so, their adventure together began. The jungle was big and sometimes scary, but with Rumi leading the way, the children felt a little braver. He hopped ahead, showing them safe paths and warning them about thorny bushes and slippery rocks. As they walked, they came across a fast-flowing river. The children grew worried. "How will we cross?" They asked. I thought for a moment, then hopped onto a fallen log lying nearby. With his clever little paws, he nudged and pushed the log into the river until it formed a bridge. "Come across one by one and hold hands," Rumi encouraged. The children carefully crossed, and soon they were all safely on the other side. Next, the group entered a darker part of the jungle where shadows danced on the ground. The children grew frightened again. To cheer them up, Rumi began hopping in funny circles, twitching his nose and making silly faces. The children giggled and forgot their fear. Even in the scariest parts of the jungle, Rumi found a way to bring light and laughter. But not all challenges were so simple. As they moved deeper into the forest, a large bear appeared from behind the trees. The children froze in fear. The bear growled, "Who dares to walk through my part of the jungle?" Rumi quickly hopped forward, his tiny body standing bravely between the bear and the children. "Great Bear," Rumi said politely, "these children are lost and only wish to return to their families. Please let us pass." The bear snorted. "Why should I?" Rumi thought fast. He remembered the berry bushes nearby. He knew bears loved berries. So he said, "If you let us pass, I'll show you where the juiciest berries grow." The bear tilted his head. Berries?" Rumi led the bear to the bushes, and the animal happily began munching. While the bear was busy, the children and Rumi quietly continued their journey. The children looked at Rumi with wide eyes. "You saved us," they whispered. And Rumi only smiled, his whiskers twitching proudly. After hours of walking, climbing, and crossing tricky paths, Rumi finally spotted smoke rising in the distance, the children's village. The kids cheered with joy. Their little feet were tired, but their hearts were full of hope. When they reached the edge of the jungle, the children's parents came running. Tears of relief filled their eyes as they hugged their little ones. They couldn't believe a tiny rabbit had protected their children through such a long and dangerous journey. "Thank you, brave rabbit," the parents said with gratitude. "You were truly the guardian of this jungle." Rumi blushed, twitching his ears shyly. He didn't need rewards or praise. Helping others was what made him happiest. With one last hop, he waved goodbye to the children and disappeared back into the jungle, ready for his next adventure. Moral of the story. And so, the little rabbit taught everyone a lesson. No matter how small you are, kindness and courage can make you the biggest hero. Helping others, even in small ways, can create miracles. So remember, whenever you feel small or powerless, think of Rumi the rabbit, and know that even the tiniest heart can shine the brightest.